I want to build a shelf. I want to build a shelf that's over the toilet, but 3 shelves on the shelf, should I say, if there is such a thing, to put toilet paper, towels, whatever else that you need on there. So first you got to figure out how high do you want it and how wide to clear the toilet. And let's get started. So here's the overall design. Very, very simple. You have a toilet that sits here. We have a top push button, as you can see, so we need to leave a little bit of room from here to there. So we decided 43 inches from there to there. Very simple 24-inch width, and a total shelf that's 6 feet tall with 3, we think, maybe 4 shelves on it so far. In order to do this, very, very simple. We bought 4 of these 2x3x96. And we bought 1 of these 1x12x6. That'll be the shelves, this one will, and this will be the, well, legs, should we say. So anyway, let's hook up the saws and let's get started. Here we are, saw is set up. First stud is measured at exactly 6 feet. Time to cut. And it's time to cut one of the legs. Then first of the 3 shelves are marked at 24 inches. That's exactly what we wanted. Marked. It's kind of hard to film that at the same time, but we will then put a square on it and mark it as such. Time to mark and cut. And here we have 3 shelves, each 24 inches by 11.5 is what it come out to. And 4 legs, 6 feet tall. Now it's time to trim the shelf. Then it is time to mark the inserts of the legs, which is, you don't necessarily have to. You can put the legs on the outside, but aesthetically I think it'll look better, so I will just mark the legs insert and cut that out. Stand by. And here they are. All 4 of the legs are marked. Like I said, you can put them like this, but I've done that in the past, but I don't think it looks as good. So now it's time to cut those out with a jigsaw. Then the inserts are cutted, or the space for the legs, you can see. I just put the cut out pieces left in here so you can kind of get an idea of how it's going to look. And I just think that's aesthetically a lot nicer looking than if you would, well, not do that. You don't have to. Jigsaw, very simple. Just go slow, go easy, mark it, and you'll be good to go. Now we have everything pre-cut to size. 4 legs cut to each 6 feet in length. And you can see the 3 shelves. They are all done. Inserts cut and they're ready to be mounted. Now this next step is not obligatory. It's really up to what you feel like. If you want it to look like, dare I say, rustic furniture, well then you just start screwing them together. I'm going to sand mine a little bit. Not much, but I do want to get rid of this. It's not particularly decorative. And there's a couple of other places that, I think that we can clean it up a little bit so we don't have any splinters for the kiddos and whatnot. So anyway, next step, then it is time to gather the tools for all of the assembly here. Now there's probably 50 different ideas of how to do that, and they all might be great. So what I'll share with you is how I'm going to do that. I'm going to use 8x3 wooden screws, tornillos, and about this long. And then you're going to use 2 different sizes of drills. At least this is what I'm going to do. I prefer to pre-drill holes in a stud or the legs of the shelf. I do that with a drill that sort of matches the threads of the 8x3 screw. However, that's going to only go through here. So there you have it. Then I have a smaller one. That drill matches the core of the screw. Actually, it's a little bit smaller than that. What that will do is we'll drill that into the sides here. If you not do that, there's a high probability that this 1-inch wood will split, especially since we're going to plow about that much through it. So first we will drill, mark and drill through here, 2 holes for each of the shell corner, and then we're going to drill a smaller hole into that. The whole thing will be glued together with Let's see what we got here today. The one and only Titebond 2. I use that for just about anything that I built that has to do with wood. I've laminated rifle stocks with it and magnum calibers, and they're still, well, shooting and not cracking. So here we go. Next step is to mark and drill. And here we are, about ready to put that first shelf on. I decided not to through drill. I'm going to try to see if how the wood will do, and if it splits, we'll start to rock another hole on the inside here. But so you get a general idea. It's a little bit complicated to put the first shelf in. But what we are going to do, a couple of things I want to mention is wet rag to wipe off excess glue. Have that ready as square as well. Because the whole idea is that this thing is not going to look like a SpongeBob square. Not to take anything away, I love that little dude. But here we go. You grab the first shelf. We are going to put just a dab of glue on it. You always want to put a little bit too much rather. And that way, you're never in doubt. Line it up with the mark of 43 inches that we've done in the past. And here comes the fun part. Make sure that you use this square, because you want that shelf to be lined up completely, well, square with what you do. And like I mentioned before, it's a little bit complicated, the first one that you drill, because it's not really rigid. Clutch a little bit more. A little bit more. And there you have it. Quickly before the glue sets, check, make sure that you have exactly it being in plumb. And this will straighten out. Looks good with the other side. And after that, you simply install another screw. Double check it again. This one is off a little bit. Like I mentioned, it is a wee bit complicated when you put the first shelf in, because you don't at that point really have, well, a shelf. And it's perfect. On to the other ones. What you want to do then is make sure you use your wet rag and you just wipe the glue. You will raise the grain in the process a little bit, but that's okay. They will come back down, and you can also sand it away. So now you have the first joint, and if you bring it over, you can see it doesn't look too bad. Very good. Now for the other. Second leg is put on there. Same thing. Make sure that when you do install it, you try the best you can. Now wood is not, I mean, you can see this one is warped a little bit down on the bottom, but that's not really the mounting fault. That's just, well, the plank of wood. So there's a little bit of gap on the bottom, but other than that, make sure that you get it as close as possible to square, and that way when it does stand up, well, it's not going to wobble all over the place. But you may choose to bolt it to the wall anyway if you have smaller children, that I do. Anyway, on to the next. And here we go. On top shelf is now installed. Once again, every time you do this, make sure, beside the initial warpage that you see, that you try to keep it as close. I have a tiny gap because the shelf itself is, well, not really straight, but that's okay. Same thing over here. But that is, I think, pretty acceptable. And of course, On the inside here, you also want to make sure that it does, which this one does. Onto shelf number 3. All 3 shelves are installed at, dare I say, half the legs. So all, well, plumb and square. And so onward to the 2 top legs, which at this point would be much, much easier to do, since, well, we don't have to need to be a 7-armed octopus holding all these different pieces together. So there you have it. Onward to the top leg. Goes on a whole lot faster. You glue all of these 3 squares or inserts. Then you pre-drill the top here, and then you literally just lay this down so that it matches. Put the screw in on the top so that it is flush up here. And then all you need to do is go down with the square and make sure that everything is square. When it is, you pre-drill holes there, 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 insert screws, and you're done. And there it is. All assembled. Very, very simple. I'll probably put, well, I'll maybe put some braces on the bottom here, but I'm not sure about that. Since it's going to be up against the wall, you have also the option that you can, well, bolt it to the wall. But you get the idea. Very simple shelf. Materials cost about $27-ish, under $30 to put all this together. Of course, assuming you have the tools to do so, but it's not complicated really. So anyway, next it'll be on top where it belongs. And there it is, all finished. I liked it to use a furniture wax instead of a finishing compound. All our downstairs is with, I don't know how to really say it in any other ways than Pueblo Mexican furnitures. And that style of finish is a lot of furniture wax rather than finish. And more importantly, in trying to continue that fashion, what it also does, it allows the wood to breathe quite a bit. And since this is going into a bathroom where there will be a lot of moisture, in the past, anything finishing on the top surface, I've seen that it does just after 5 years just does not look particularly good. So I enjoy that the furniture wax is that. So we'll go put it in the bathroom, and you can. Well, sorry about all this. Have a couple of teenage, well, and an older than a teenage girl, and you know exactly what that means. So here it is, installed in the girls' bathroom. And the idea was that there was a little bit of space. They can still push the button, which is beneficial. And now they have 3 shelves for a little bit of labor and just under about $30. And I think that just about sums it up. That'll be wonderful. Thank you for watching.